Hi guys, this is a video on phrasal verbs, or ABC verbs as well, which are a very well-known pattern of phrasal verbs, where we're going to just play with them in a few tenses. I've just noticed with some of the translation I've been doing with students this week and some of the just some of the general conversational usage, that there's a few of these verbs that you kind of recognize and go, oh, that's that, but that you may be not that comfortable using them in the different tenses. So let's look at how we pop them in different tenses and why different tenses are going to pop up. So, and also we'll have a little walk through the autumn trees because I thought that would be quite nice. So if we say, for example, that a phrasal verb is a verb that's going to be made up of multiple ingredients. I don't mean a compound. Look at that lovely colour. I don't mean a compound verb like with an auxiliary like j'ai mangé. That's different. I'm on about something where you have, for example, je me suis rendu compte, I realised, or la réunion aura lieu, the meeting will take place. We're using two words there. So one of our main techniques is to isolate what is the verb within the phrasal verb. So what's the verb word, the infinitive that we're looking at? So for example, to take place, avoir lieu, avoir. To queue up, to line up, faire la queue, faire. S'occuper de, to look after, to deal with, occupé. S'habituer à, verb in question, habituer, within the middle of a reflexive and a preposition. So let's also acknowledge that annoyingly, a lot of the verbs that are ABCers, so se, then the verb, then a preposition, they also tend to be verbs which begin with a vowel, which means that they are going to join with an S and an apostrophe, or an M and an apostrophe, etc., to the reflexive or reciprocal to the left. So on this occasion, reflexive. So for example, I look after the project. Je m'occupe du projet. I'll write all of these underneath. So just say with me, I'm looking after the project. Je m'occupe du projet. Okay? That is a reflexive verb with a de on the end. De and le become du. I'm looking after the situation. Je m'occupe de la situation. Je m'occupe de la situation. I'm looking after, I will look after the situation. So what are we going to do? We're going to use our rend on the verb. Je m'occuperai de la situation. Give me I will look after the project. Je m'occuperai du projet. I looked after the situation. I dealt with. Je me suis occupé de la situation. Je me suis occupé de la situation. We're using a reflexive in the past, which is an ABC verb, which is a reflexive. We're using therefore the poetry past. What's the poetry? Je me suis, tu, t'es, il s'est, nous, nous sommes, vous, vous êtes, ils se sont. I dealt with the situation. Je me suis occupé de la situation. I had dealt with the situation. What does that mean that we need to do? We need to make the auxiliary element of the reflexive past je me suis, je m'étais. So say for me, I had dealt with the situation, but let's just say it came back. Je m'étais occupé de la situation. Or je m'étais occupé de la situation for certain speakers. I will deal with the situation. Je m'occuperai de la situation. Someone giving directions. So let's change verbs. S'habituer à. S'habituer à. I will get used to the situation. Je m'habituerai à la situation. I got used to the situation, past tense. Je me suis habitué à la situation. I'm using a phrasal, I'm using a reflexive in the past. Je me suis habitué à la situation. I would have gotten used to the situation if I'd have stayed there. Je me serais habitué à la situation. Je me serais habitué à la situation. Luke is happy that I got used to the situation, like somebody else. Luc est content que je me sois habitué à la situation, because it's a subjunctive on the poetry past. I realise, je me rends compte, can be followed with a que, a de, depending how you're coming out of it. I realise it. Je m'en rends compte. Yeah? Je m'en rends compte. Okay? I realised it. Je m'en suis rendu compte. Je m'en suis rendu compte. Je m'en suis rendu compte. He realised it. Il s'en est rendu compte. We're using the reflexive in the past. That means ABC poetry past. And then on the end of which we're sticking rendu compte, but we've got the on in the middle of it. So il s'est with an on in the middle. Il s'en est rendu compte. He would have realized it. Il s'en serait rendu compte. Il s'en serait rendu compte. He would have never have realized it. Il s'en serait jamais rendu compte. I didn't get used to it. Let's pop in some adverbs. Je m'y suis pas habitué. Je ne m'y suis pas habitué. So I get used to, s'habituer à, poetry past, je me suis habitué à. I got used to it, je m'y suis habitué, without the a. I didn't get used to it, je ne m'y suis pas habitué. This house is absolutely covered in wisteria. It's absolutely covered in wisteria. Good. Excellent. Let's do another one. What could we have? S'approcher de, to approach somebody. S'approcher de. So il s'est approché de moi. Yeah. Il s'est approché de moi. Let's use remember because that's more common. Can I remind you as well, as I was pointing out to somebody the other day, that with these verbs, the temptation for the learner is to say il me and to then stick in a me. Now that's a really good reflex. That's absolutely a brilliant reflex. It's just not the reflex that you need. Look at this lovely olive tree and then the little acer behind. You see the acer? I love green and maroon together in a garden. So this is cute because you've got olive tree, so olivier. Then you've got Photinia, red robin. The new growth is red. Not much new growth in autumn. And then you've got the smoke bush next to it. So you've got red, red and green, green. Love it, love it. So if you said, for example, I remember, je me souviens. I remember it, je m'en souviens. I remembered past, je me suis souvenu, same pattern. I would have remembered, je me serais souvenu de. I would have remembered it, je m'en serais souvenu de. No, je m'en serais souvenu. Good. Good. So just a few little ABCs, different tenses. Say them along with me. If you don't know what the hell an ABC is, this video will be absolutely lost and wasted on you. This is just a few little ABCs to run through. I think I'm going to look at this little fuchsia. I do love a fuchsia. I'm going to dedicate this video to TESS because TESS was asking about this. So yeah, so just whenever you come across a phrasal verb, an ABC verb, be bothered to run that shit through in all the different tenses. Really, the same crap is going to apply. The verb is going to be a or soft hard. The subjunctive is going to come in for the same reasons. If it needs an auxiliary in a tense, it will still need an auxiliary in a tense. It's just it will use it with être if it's reflexive, you know, like je me suis rather than j'ai. If it's got a would have, we're going to be seeing the aurait and the serait, but even with the reflexive, je me serais. If it's got extra words on the end that carry through that don't actually even mean anything, like faire partie de, to be part of, the partie is not going to change. Je me suis rendu compte, the compte is not going to change. So in other words, if you come across a phrasal verb, a verb which uses more than one infinitive to create its meaning, then run it from left to right. Any problems on phrasal verbs you don't understand, write them underneath, but it really is an absolutely essential part of any modern French speech to be able to use phrasal verbs. It's silly to avoid them. Yeah, don't go, oh, it's one of those that's like a combo of crap. Good. I will speak to you guys soon. I hope this is useful. I hope you've enjoyed our little autumn walk. Before we go, I just have to show you this amazing Jeep because I see this every day. There's a bar around the corner with the same name. I love this Jeep. Let's try not to get killed. This is such a badass Jeep. Don't die, Luke. Love this Jeep. Good. Excellent. All right. Speak to you guys soon.